All right, and Derek, Laurel, Maryland, Independent.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a great day. I am excited about what's happening in the Democratic Party, although I am a Lincoln Republican who has gone over because I am not going back to a convicted felon. I'm not going back to an adulterer. I'm not going back to a fraudster. I'm not going back to someone who claims to understand economics and had so many bankruptcies. I'm not going back to a number of empty, promised Republicans. I'm moving forward.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. America is sick and tired of being sold out, lied to, and watching a spoiled orange brat throw temper tantrums. It's time for the adults to step in and put Trump in time out.
And I'm so challenged by every time a Republican gets on this line, all they can do is talk about the worst, the worst, the worst. If the country's so bad, why don't you move out of the country?
When a caller who described himself as a Lincoln Republican called into C-SPAN, he was aligning with principles historically associated with Abraham Lincoln.
That's all I have.
So, Derek, when you say you're not going back, had you voted for Mr. Trump in the past?
Yes, I'm not doing it again. Not doing it again.
And why did you vote for him?
Well, I thought it appeared to be a change. It appeared to be a breaking up the system. But what it turns out to be was just one seeking out riches for he and his children. Folks don't want to talk about his children and how many riches they gained from this. You know, so it's been really, really disappointing.
Lincoln Republicans supported high protective tariffs, federally funded improvements, and a national banking system. This perspective aligns with modern movements like the Lincoln Project, a group of anti-Trump Republicans advocating for traditional Republican values and opposing Trump's influence on the party. Republican Arizona Mayor John Giles has made headlines as the latest GOP leader to condemn Donald Trump and instead endorse Kamala Harris, emphasizing his stance as choosing country over party.
I am a Republican, and I enjoy endorsing Republicans. But, occasionally there are issues and questions that we're presented with in life that are just too compelling to be silent. And I knew that if I had to sleep at night, and that I couldn't do that well if I didn't speak out and express my disappointment in the Republican nominee.
This significant move showcases Giles' commitment to putting the nation's well-being above partisan loyalty, marking a notable shift in the political landscape.
Well, I think that there's a minimum bar for elected officials in this country, and having to do with character, having to do with commitment to the rule of law and the Constitution. And I don't feel like Mr. Trump gets over that low bar.
Giles joins a growing list of Republican figures who have distanced themselves from Trump in recent months. Another prominent figure to break ranks with Trump is former Vice President Mike Pence.
Irrespective of the indictment, I want the American people to know that I had no right to overturn the election. And then on that day, President Trump asked me to put him over the Constitution. But I chose the Constitution, and I always will. I mean, I really do believe that anyone who puts himself over the Constitution should never be president of the United States.
Despite serving as Trump's running mate and holding a close alliance before January 6th, Pence has taken a stand against Trump's claims of election fraud and has condemned the former president's role in the Capitol insurrection. Pence's decision to speak out underscores a broader defection of Trump within the Republican Party. Are Republican leaders prioritizing democratic principles and the rule of law over party allegiance? It sounds highly unlikely, but it seems like the Kamala momentum is having an effect on everyone. Republicans for Kamala have organized and raised money for a Democrat. This movement is real, folks. In a surprising and significant political move, former Georgia Republican Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan has officially endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris for the presidency. Known for his conservative stance, Duncan's endorsement highlights the urgency he feels in preventing a second term for Donald Trump.
We are a better party without Donald Trump. And I know millions of Republicans don't see that, but they will one day. They'll be embarrassed that they took the bait and followed Donald Trump down a dark path for our party.
Duncan candidly expressed his concerns, stating, "I don't agree with Kamala Harris on everything, but I recognize the critical need to prioritize the country's well-being over party lines."
I don't agree with Kamala Harris on everything. I didn't agree with Joe Biden on everything. I don't agree with my wife on everything. But I am committed to this country, and I think the best, actually, she doesn't agree with me on everything. I think that's probably the better way to put it.
Duncan's endorsement is a call to action for fellow Republicans who share his concerns about Trump's potential return to power. We must come together, regardless of party affiliation, to ensure a safer and more stable future for our country. Kamala Harris represents a pathway to restoring dignity and respect to the highest office in the land. This bold endorsement underscores the growing bipartisan recognition of the need to protect the nation from the dangers posed by Trump's leadership. Duncan's willingness to cross party lines for the greater good is a powerful testament to his commitment to the country's future. And the recent rally in Pennsylvania with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz wasn't just a political event. It was a beacon of hope, resonating with the voices of Americans fed up with the lies and betrayal of Donald Trump and the Republican Party.
She believes in the opportunity for every single person to join the middle class. She believes in the promise of America. We just got to fight. We just got to fight. Because as soon-to-be President Harris says, when we fight, we win!
Tim Walz's remarks captured the frustration many feel towards Donald Trump's self-serving agenda. As Walz pointed out, Trump doesn't have time for it because he's too busy serving himself, highlighting Trump's callous disregard for the common good. He even threw a debate challenge at J.D. Vance, which was absolutely epic. The excitement and energy at the rally mirrored the broader momentum sweeping across the country. People are rallying behind Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, seeing them as a beacon of hope for a future where the economy works for everyone, not just the wealthy elite. The walls are closing in, and Donald Trump is running out of options. There's panic in the air, and it's even rumored that Trump wants to pick a new vice presidential candidate. Is his evil plan coming unraveled? Are you feeling lonely and facing life in prison, Donnie? The Kamala momentum is real, and everyone is jumping ship like rats on a sinking Trump vessel. Trump now wants to turn the country into a trash TV episode of The Apprentice and fire J.D. Vance as a solution. What a couple of incompetent morons. Everyone around the country is joining in the lock him up chants, and it's glorious. Lock his ass up indeed, because that's what's needed, and that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.